Hello everyone and welcome. Well, today's the day, the big one. 10 to 1. Oh boy, and that's not just the time, that is the list. We're doing the top 10 right now. I will warn you beforehand, there are series repeats, so it might make it a bit obvious which series I like and don't like. Might be fairly obvious, but hey, it's time for the top 10. Let's do this. At number 10, we have Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. Now, here's the thing. Pokemon Black and White kinda lost me. I was definitely not fans of Black and White at all. In fact, I hated it. Black and White 2 was a little better. Playable, for sure. Would I go back to it personally? No. Can I see why people like Black and White 2? Yes. X and Y was a bit... it left a lot to be desired. I didn't hate as much as Black and White 2, but it was still something that wasn't really there. And then the Gen 3 remakes came out, and those were really exciting and really cool. And I thought, okay, they can do something with this. So, I had tempered expectations for Ultra Sun and Moon, and, well, original Sun and Moon, and they didn't disappoint. I really loved it. There's so much to do in this game, apart from just catching literally all of them. It's probably the most fun I've had any Pokemon game in the 3DS generation. You can say Black and White was part of the original DS generation, but it came out at the same time the 3DS was out, so... but anyway, yeah, it was amazing and I really liked it, and then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out and just made everything better, so... what do I have to say about this game? There's a lot I'm going to be saying about Pokemon games, so... yeah, spoilers is another one on the list. Ooh. So, let's just leave that for next time. So, here we go with number 9. We have Yoshi's Story on a Nintendo 64. Now, why is this game up so high? You can beat the whole game in 40 minutes, I suppose. Well, here's the thing, you can beat the game in 40 minutes, but there are 6 levels, and that's it. From the start to the end, there are 6 levels. But every level has 4 stages you could choose from. You only got to play 1 to advance, but you could go back and play the game again to play those missing levels. To play those levels, though, you need to find hearts throughout the level. The only way you could unlock 2, 3, and 4 in any level or page was to find 1, 2, or 3 hearts respectively. So, when you're able to finally find all 3 hearts and get to play these mysterious sort of like 4th levels in the world, that was a really good feeling. And obviously, when I had it, I didn't have access to the internet, but even early on when I did have access to the internet, I couldn't find any heart guides. I could find plenty of melon guides for some reason, but I couldn't find heart guides. So it always became this thing of, even though I was in the full swing of the age of technology and the internet, these level 4 worlds were this sort of big, interesting secret. And when I was able to play one and figure out what levels I could find them all in, because obviously if you're playing 4 different, completely different levels in each world, the hearts are going to be completely different whichever one you're in. So if you only know how to get all the hearts in, let's say, the 2nd level in World 2, then when you're playing like the 3rd or 4th level in World 2, you don't know where the hearts are, and so you're playing the 1st or 2nd one in World 3. You really gotta know where everything is, and I guess that's why it makes it hard to have a heart guide. But yeah, all that aside, this game has really crazy good graphics for the time. It has a style that I really like, the style that they've sort of carried over from Woolly World and what am I thinking of? There's another game that I'm thinking of that really continue on with this style. But you only have to look at the footage to see what kind of style I'm talking about. It is amazing. Of course, the music is absolutely brilliant. I love it. And I just have a lot of warm memories of this game. One that I'll definitely cherish, and one that I think has so much replayability. You know, it's one that's hard to get tired of, and that's why I love it. It's something in a short burst. You can pick it up and play it start to finish in a day, even if you have a busy work day or a busy school day. You can come home after school or work and finish off a whole game of Yoshi's Story before you go to bed. So then you can come back and do it all tomorrow, but be completely different. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to number 8, we have Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now, I did enjoy Super Mario Galaxy 1 quite a lot, but I can tell that my love of Super Mario Galaxy 1 is more nostalgic. Super Mario Galaxy 2 did everything better, in my opinion. Added more stars, added more, of course, levels, music, the whole... I'm hesitant because I don't want to spoil what happens when you get all the main stars, but they had a, let's just say they had a better post-game than Super Mario Galaxy 1, and leave it at that. Just so much they did better. Of course, they brought back the orchestra from Super Mario Galaxy 1 and bumped out a ton of new, amazing orchestral scores for the game. So beautiful to go and listen to. I used to listen to these when I had a shitty paper route, and Super Mario Galaxy 1's soundtrack as well, but they made the route a bit better. And just so many cool worlds, cool star ideas, just a lot of really cool things going on. The platforming is so nice and tight, the graphics for the time were amazing. So many worlds to just sort of get lost into and just really explore and enjoy. It's the sort of thing that Mario Odyssey as well captured, that sort of wanting to go into depth and explore the worlds. But Super Mario Galaxy 2 was the better one for me. Who knows, maybe as Odyssey ages more and I play it more and more and get more comfortable with it. Who knows, but at the moment Super Mario Galaxy 2 is my choice. Coming on to number 7. Here we have the Pokemon game that I think was better than Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Pokemon Gold, Silver, or Crystal. It doesn't matter which one you're talking about, in my opinion, they're all good. A lot of people just put the 3rd generation of any of the games on here. You could do that, but really, you like them all the same for the same reason, so I'm just going to talk about them in one big lump, and also because I haven't really played Crystal. I've played a little bit of Silver, but, you know, all my time's gone into Pokemon Gold. Of course, Silver and Gold are pretty much interchangeable. You played Silver, you played Gold, you just have a slightly different pool of Pokemon you can catch, so yeah, interchangeable. But Pokemon Gold and Silver, man, they took everything, every single little aspect from Pokemon Red and Blue, and Yellow, I guess, and improved it. They now had an experience bar at the bottom, so you could tell how close the Pokemon was going to be from leveling up just from the get-go and not having to go into the menus. The sprites are absolutely amazing and cleaned up. The music, oh man, I don't even have to talk about the music. That's just some amazing classics on there. Oh man, more areas to explore, more Pokemon to catch. All the Pokemon are looking just as good as their Generation 1 counterparts, which makes sense since they designed the Generation 1 and 2 Pokemon at the same time, so obviously makes sense that they'd all be up to the same standard as Generation 1 Pokemon. And just such a cool world to traverse. It is... I'm trying not to keep saying the word an adventure, but it really was a grand adventure. To me, Pokemon Red and Blue doesn't feel as much like an adventure. It feels like, I guess, you know, a normal classic RPG sort of thing. I have a lot of fun with it, don't get me wrong. In fact, it is going to be on my top 100 next year. Spoilers, I just don't know where I'm putting it yet. So it's probably going to knock something off. But, so don't think I'm hating on the originals. I love the originals. But Gold and Silver and Crystal, I'm just going to call them Gen 2 now. Those were the ones that felt like an epic grand adventure. And spoilers for the next 20 seconds, so hit the L key twice if you don't want to hear this. The fact that you could go and battle Red at the end of it. Post-Champion stuff, there was something to do after Champion, and just to really... that was the one you wanted to fight. The fight with him really felt like a final boss, like this was it, this was the end. You got to fight yourself from Red and Blue. Fucking amazing. Anyway, welcome back everyone else. Hopefully that was 20 seconds. Probably not. Oh well. Sorry if I spoiled anything. But yes, also the fact that you could go into Kanto you could do it. You could go and explore Kanto in this game. You could go back to the first generation. Thanks to the late great Satoru Iwata, who made that possible, and just it's the absolute cherry on the cake, which makes, I think, one of the best and most memorable games of all time. Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal will always be classics, no matter how much they age, quote-unquote, and how far we come with Pokemon games, especially with Pokemon games now coming on the Switch. So the amount of upgrade in graphics is going to be substantial in the coming future, I think, in the next 5-10 years. But I think that's something I'll always go back to, and if I ever have kids, that's the one I'd hope that they would get into Pokemon, and I would start them probably on this one, I think. Even though, spoilers, there is one more Pokemon game that I've put ahead of it in this list somewhere. This is the one I would actually start them with, and then sort of lead them up to the other ones. So, it's just an amazing classic. Number 6. This one is interesting. This is the only one that came out, pardon me, that came out in this decade. Actually, that's on the top 10. Or, did Galaxy come out in 2010? Galaxy 2? Obviously Galaxy 1 didn't. I feel like Galaxy 2 might come out in 2010. If so, there are 2 games from this decade on the list, but Galaxy 2 is sort of teetering on the edge. What I'm trying to say is that this is the only game on the top 10 that's from this current generation, or even last generation. Because you really wouldn't count the Wii as the PS4 and Xbox 360 era, but this is Rayman Legends. This is the game that gave me hope for modern day platformers. I never thought again we would see anything this good, and this blew all my expectations out of the water and more. This is straight up the best platformer, in my opinion, that has been made to date. The best 2D platformer I think we've ever seen. And it sort of gives me It gives me hope for the future, that if we can have Rayman Legends now, to think where 2D platformers could go from here. And it gives me hope that the genre isn't dead, and that we have amazing stuff like this. Like, there is no competition. Rayman Legends is the best 2D platformer to come out of the last 2 or 3 generations, bar none. Everything about this game, it has hard but fair difficulty. You don't feel cheated when you die, and you can go back to the start. So many unlockables, and it doesn't feel like an arduous task. There are 700 TNTs to unlock, and you never feel like it's a grating sort of, oh god, it's a slog, so to get through it. So many cool characters, skins, amazing worlds, amazing levels, amazing scenery, amazing graphics, amazing music. Just everything about this game. And even after you can 100% complete this game, you can go and do daily and weekly challenges. I know I say that don't count the online in rankings, and honestly, if there wasn't any online, Rayman Legends would still be at 6th, but the fact that there are online leaderboards that you can go and do daily and weekly challenges with other people is really good. I don't like playing actively with other people online, but this is a leaderboard where you just go up against their times, their ghosts, and that's, in my opinion, completely different. It's just so many good things in this little package, and it is absolutely one of my favorite games ever. And you know, I'm surprised. I think, yes, this is one of 2 non-Nintendo games on the top 10, and it always surprises me when a non-Nintendo game makes it up here, but it is just that damn good. And here we go. Starting off the top 5, I now present to you what I think is the best Pokemon game, bar none. And that, my friends, is a very controversial opinion, one that I don't think anyone shares. And that opinion is Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. I think these are the best Pokemon games ever, and no one else is going to share this opinion. So let me just give my reasons for why I think this game is the best. So obviously, I think the graphics in this game are They were amazing at the time, revolutionary. We've come off the original Ruby and Sapphire and the Game Boy Advance to this, and seeing these sprites and all the updated menus and buttons and things, all the little conveniences that they'd made since then, was apologies. All these little things that they did since then was absolutely amazing. The new Pokemon were all great. They're ones that I grew to love really quick. Quicker than I did the Ruby or the Gen 3 ones. Of course I love the Gen 3 Pokemon, but they took longer to grow on me than the Gen 4 ones. But now I love every Pokemon from Gen 1 to 4. And there are a lot of ones from 5, 6, and 7 I love. I'm not one of those people that go, oh, the new designs are shit. I just haven't taken the time to properly sort of remember them all. But the first 4 generations, yeah, I could point to any sort of flash of a picture or a shadow of a Pokemon and say that's that one. So, but what can I say? Some of the best music in the series, some of the best, I think, cities. This is a very weird thing to say, since the cities don't play too much of a role in these games, but I think there's a lot of liveliness in the cities. Not the sort of liveliness you'll get with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon now, where like everyone has this sort of talking in there's massive buildings, but at the time, it felt more homely. It didn't feel like this weird empty ghost town that people only sort of existed to fill up space in a random home. It felt like the town sort of was alive, I guess. I know it doesn't make any sense. But there's just so much fun that I had on the journey with Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. I think it had a really great story, especially Platinum, with the stuff that they added in Platinum with, Giratina. Just, all that stuff was amazing. When I first saw the Distortion World, just, eyes popping out of heads sort of thing. My apologies, I don't know what's up with my throat, it just keeps, dying, so, bear with me, but, yeah, it's just so much about this game that I like, and, I'm not going to sugarcoat the amount of, nostalgia that I have for this game. I think is, it'll always bring a tear to my eye, finishing this game, and just thinking of, easier sort of times, times just around the start of high school, when this game sort of came out, and just sort of how things were a bit easier back then than they were when a lot of other factors started complicating things. And it's something that I can sit down and easily put 20 hours into just whenever I feel like I have the urge to play it again. And in my heart, it'll always be the best Pokemon game, and I can't thank it and everyone involved in making it enough for the memories that I have with this game. And yeah, what can I say? Holy shit, it's one of the best games ever made. Number 4. The other non-Nintendo game on the list, we have The Simpsons Hit and Run. Hell yeah, let's bring up the mood here. Fucking Simpsons Hit and Run. I loved this game before it became a big popular meme sort of thing. The same with SpongeBob SquarePants Spit Off a Bikini Bottom, when that blew up and became like this big massive thing. I liked this game from when I was a kid, and I love it now. My cousin and I played this game all the time, and I still play it even now. I speed ran it for the longest time, and even now I'll still sit down and play it 100% casually over a weekend or a week if I'm busy with work and stuff. So, man, The Simpsons Hit and Run. I put it above every GTA. I put GTA 5 lower. Not that much lower, not even 10 space, or more than 10 spaces lower, like 13 spaces lower, but why did I put this one so high? I don't know. I feel like the missions are most fair, the steady progression of difficulty to a point where absolute beginners couldn't beat it. You'd have to retry it a lot, but once you got really good at the game, it was fairly easy to do without ever having to reset or lose a mission. It's missions that reward you for keeping on playing and being good at them. Of course, I love The Simpsons. They brought the full cast back. All the dialogue is done by the original voice actors. all the cars in the game, they all look so amazing. It's cool. It's always a cool thing to unlock a new car, because it's like, oh, what's it? What is this? What's that? And there's bonus cars in each of the levels that you can just randomly find that you can't actually obtain, which are always really, really cool. I think everyone remembers the rocket car from the first level, but there are also other cool ones, like you can drive the monorail. You can drive just a remote control car. Like it's just this tiny little car that goes around, and a bunch of other ones that are really amazing. Oh my god, yeah, how could I forget the fucking monster truck? Yeah, there's that in the game. So, you know, everything about this game, fucking amazing. And that's pretty much with this top 5, it's just everything's amazing. These 5 are what I would call near perfection in gaming. These top 5. And Simpsons Hit and Run definitely hits home with that one. All the glitches are fun ones that don't break the game and don't sort of soft lock you in. And what can I say? It's an experience that if you haven't tried it, go out and try it. It's so damn fun. I know you can't kill anyone, but you know, you can kick them. And if you hit them just right with a ground pound, you can make them soar up into the air, and it's all sorts of amazing fun. It's a game. Just go have fun with it. I feel just so amazing. Number 3, we're getting even closer to perfection here, and what can I think perfection more than the best 3D platformers ever made? Ladies and gentlemen, number 3 is Banjo-Kazooie. Oh yes! Dude, how could this not be on here? Rare's masterpiece! A collectathon that didn't have way too much to collect, wasn't insanely cryptic and backtracky. Just all the controls were right, all the moves were right, all the worlds you go to were so... At the time, they were just so expansive and so much character in them. There's Banjo-Kazooie, composed by Grant Kirkhope, one of the best composers of video game music, in my opinion. He had one sort of basic track, you know, the do 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 do, that track. But the instrumentation of it was different in every single world. So you had that instrumentation in like a haunted theme, an ice theme, a desert theme, so on and so on. And every track was that sort of same composition, but completely changed. The instrumentals were changed, making the tone different on every single world, which is fucking incredible. And if that wasn't good enough for you, they then did a underwater theme, not just a underwater theme. They made an underwater theme of every track, every overworld theme. So you have the desert theme, and then you have the underwater in the desert theme, which is a softer, sort of calmer version of the same track. Then you've got the haunted mansion theme and the underwater, but you can go on. It's underwater themes for all of them. That was such an amazing touch. I absolutely loved it. 100 notes and 10 jiggies to collect in every world. Very simple. You know what you're doing. When you go into a world, you know what you're getting into. When you've collected the 100 notes, you're done. When you've collected the 10 jiggies, you are done. And it's platforming perfection. You could probably find some things wrong with the game if you're like really looking and just sort of have a vendetta against it. Me, however, there's not much at all I can think wrong with the game. It is damn near perfect. One of the best 3D platformers you will ever gonna see, and probably ever will. It's lightning in a bottle. It's something that they could not recreate, because now gamers wouldn't accept a game sort of that small. Look at Ukulele. They knew that gamers wouldn't accept a game like Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie anymore. They're sort of too small for that now. They wanted bigger, grandiose worlds to explore. But the problem with that is when you get a world that's too big and all the sections kind of look the same, like they kind of did in Ukulele, you get lost and it's not a fun world to explore. But with Banjo-Kazooie, they hit the nail on the head. Every single area is perfect to explore. You have, like, let's take Mumbo's Mountain. You have like 5 sections that you very well know exactly where you're going. You've got the giant anthill, right? You know exactly where you're going with that. You have the orange tree and the ball. That area looks nothing alike, even though they're in the same world. Then you got Mumbo's hut area, completely different looking. You've got Stonehenge, completely different looking, and you've got sort of the water and island area, right? I'm not looking at a map, that's just all in my head, because I can tell you all these look insanely different from each other. They're all sort of different quadrants, and that's something the Nintendo 64 era did well. Conker's Bad Fur Day did that as well, Banjo-Tooie did that as well, and something like Yooka-Laylee doesn't really do that. It's just, oh, big grassy expansion with hills. Alright, let's go to this big grassy area with hills. Okay, let's go to the foresty big area with hills. You sort of see where I'm going with this. I couldn't sit there and give you, like, the quadrants of the map, but Banjo-Kazooie I can. And for all these reasons and more, Banjo-Kazooie is one of the best games I think it's ever made. Damn near close to perfection. And here we go. Number 2. The game that's just one off from being the best game ever made. What game is it? What game is so close to being absolutely perfect, but just so barely off? In my opinion, that game is Kirby's Adventure on the NES. The original. Well, the Game Boy one was the original, but it was very short. It was a 20-minute game, and you didn't have copy abilities. Kirby's Adventure on the NES, though. In my opinion, you cannot tell me the SNES version is better. Because, flat out, it's not. You're entitled to have your opinions, you're entitled to have the games that you love, but it is inferior. It does not have... because it's all broken up messes of minigames, really, the SNES one. I can't see why people like it. I can see why people like the 64 one, I can see why people like the Wii ones, but I can't see why people like the SNES one. I don't know, broken up minigame things with no real proper story mode just is not my thing. I guess one of the games is just the Game Boy game recreated, but again, that's only 20 minutes long. But Kirby's Adventure, man, when I talk adventure, fuck, it's right there in the title. 7 amazing, unique, different worlds you could go to and explore. Just such pumping music. You got the calm, sort of happy, jolly music when it's appropriate. You've got the solid, calm underwater music when you need it. You've got the foreboding music, and you've got the real pumping, blood-flowing music for the final bosses. Everything about this game, in my opinion, is perfect. The best 2D platformer we'll ever see. I mean, I might be wrong, I don't know the future, but so far it's the best one we've seen, and it's like how old is it? Like, almost 30 years old now? We're getting to that point? Like, Kirby, it's just, I don't know what more I can say about all these games. All I can say is that Kirby's Adventure is a game that is so near perfection that it is a masterpiece. It is an absolute masterpiece. One of the best games ever made. And I will always think that. Of course, all these games come with some sort of fond nostalgic memories, but I still think that Kirby's Adventure beats out all the other ones I played as a kid. So, that's why it's number 2. And number 1. Probably no surprise to people who know me, but number 1. What's the best game ever made? In my opinion, that game is Super Mario 64. It's a cliche answer, I know, but not as cliche as you'd think. See, I don't think anyone would make this their absolute top favorite ever. A lot of people nowadays are saying, it's aged poorly, the camera sucks, the swimming sucks, the flying sucks, this sucks, that sucks. I honestly, without any take off the nostalgia glasses, I don't see it. I don't see the camera being a problem. I know, I must be some fucking crazy maniac, but I've never had a problem with the camera. Ever had a problem with the camera. I can see where people are coming from with the flying. That one can take a lot of time to master. I haven't had any problem with the swimming, but I can see where people come from with the flying. But apart from that, perfect game, in my opinion. Absolutely perfect game. One that we'll never ever see again. It's something that can't be recreated. Something about the sort of minimalistic style of the game. The scope of the castle, as big as it was back in the day, you couldn't do anything like that now, because like with Odyssey, it's too small. that sort of area is too small now. You couldn't do 15 worlds all cramped up in a castle. That would be like World 1 nowadays, you know? But in those 15 worlds, and with those 120 stars, they made a masterpiece adventure that I don't think we'll ever see again, and hit all the notes perfectly. Again, I used the term lightning in a bottle, something that we will never ever see again, because it was the right place, the right time, the right team, and all the right detail. The music, some of the best in the video game world. The levels, some of the most iconic in the video game world. The platforming and movement, perfect. Just everything about this game, again, except the flying can be a bit touchy, is perfect. And of course, you know, I have a lot of personal ties to this game. You know, I don't want to go out here and sort of yell my heart out to random people, but I have a lot of memories with this game. They've got me through a lot of hard times. Just being able to sit down and sort of calm my mind and be able to play this game over and over again. I've probably put in thousands and thousands of hours into this game, and I will put thousands and thousands more hours into this game. It's a game that I go back to probably every month. Honestly, not just once a year, probably once a bloody month, and never get tired of it. I always look forward to the adventure. There's a couple of stars that I don't look forward to, a lot of the 100 coin stars. But apart from that, it's gaming perfection. One that will probably never see anything of its caliber again. It revolutionized the industry, and in my opinion, you could call me a nostalgia-blind idiot, but I think it got everything right, everything perfect the first time, and they've sort of been trying to recapture that ever since and not getting to the scope that Mario 64 is. It's something that has its reputation for a reason. Super Mario 64 is, without a doubt in my opinion, the best game ever made of all time. You probably disagree a lot with my list, but I'd like to hear some of your favorite games. If some of your favorite games didn't make it on the list, I might just not have played them yet. Like I said though, there are a few games that need to go on the list for next year, and leave a comment with some of your favorite games. Don't go too crazy. Maybe give me like 3 or something of your favorite games that went on the list, and I'll have to go and check them out. Don't recommend anything like Fortnite or anything like that. I will not play it. But, you know, something that I might actually enjoy, given what's on the list. If you made it all this far, I'll give you a sort of sneak peek on what needs to be put on the list that was not on the list, which means a lot of these very well may be on the list in 2019. The Crash Bandicoot games, especially from the remake. Yes, the remake. The other Modern Warfare Call of Duty games, 2 and 3. Who knows, I think Modern Warfare 2 Remastered might be a thing in 2019. I don't really remember. Like I said before, Pokemon Red and Blue need to go up here. Persona 5, a lot of people might be excited that might be going up on the list. Tecmo World Cup Soccer needs to go on the list. Xevious needs to go on the list. Worms World Party and Worms WMD. All those games are ones that already are ones for the list. So you can just see the scope of how big this list is going to change when we come back here, same time next year. If you guys have stuck with me through this whole list, thank you so much for hearing my opinions on games, and I really hope some of your favorites made it on the list. Even if they made it at like the bottom, like 90 to 100, keep in mind that all these games I think are absolutely amazing. They are my 100 favorites for a reason. None of these games are bad. If you're like, oh, my favorite game only made to 84 or whatever, keep in mind that I love them all. The reason this is a top 100 list is because I have so many games that I enjoy that a top 10 just would not suffice. I need it to be top 100, and I look forward to seeing how this list changes as the list gets more and more competitive. It didn't start out too competitive. Things like Connect Sports and Pokemon Go and Bookworm used to be on the list so recently as last year. Now, a lot of games, really good games, might be taken down. Mario Kart Double Dash, Pokemon Quest, Super Mario Maker, Paper Mario Color Splash, all of these are in jeopardy of getting taken off the list next year. I'll be very excited to see what happens, and I hope you guys will be too. Of course, I know a lot of you, not everyone will probably forget that this is a thing by the time next year, but maybe we'll see it in your inbox and go, oh shit, yeah, I remember, let's see what's changed. And of course, the orders are going to be changing all the time, so yeah, I can finally add everything to the list. Thank you guys so much again. Sorry to be rambling for so long, but these are all just so near and dear to my heart, and I love them so. So thank you guys so much again, and I will see you next time for whatever is the next Let's Play that I'm doing. Probably Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist and Stick of Truth. So check those out. But if you're watching this a lot later, then there's probably newer ones. Anyway, I'm rambling. Bye!
Thank you so much for playing my game.